Hello and welcome to the HEALcast. I'm Bobby, joined by my awesome co-host.
Hi, I'm Morgan.
How we doing, Morgan?
Pretty good. How about you?
Living the dream, can't complain.
You a little tired?
Just a little bit, only a slight amount. I did a Thon stream on Friday that I thought would go 12 hours. It went 19 and a half, so we're still
So,
recovering.
so what exactly is that?
So I did a Twitch fundraiser, which basically I sat there and played games for 20 hours, which sounds like
As
the
in,
dream, right?
as in video games?
Correct.
Like what kind of games do you play?
All sorts, Morgan.
I like Fortnite. Like I don't even
No,
know.
I
Like
didn't play Fortnite. You kidding me?
I don't
But
know.
I did 20 hours of gaming. We raised 1.3k FTK, so that was
That's
tons of fun.
awesome.
A lot of coffee,
Cool.
but I lived.
And so people will just watch you play games for
Yeah.
19 and a half hours. Well, do people pop in and out? I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
definitely. I don't know if anyone was silly enough to go as long as I did.
Oh my gosh,
Straight.
wouldn't that be cool if there was someone who did it for the whole 19 and a half hours with you?
They definitely would have gotten bored because I'm pretty boring. But
That sounds like thon conditioning, basically.
yeah,
Saying, wait, except for you get to sit, so I guess that
yeah.
helps.
It was halfway. Next time I'll do it with a standing desk, and then it'll be some real training.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you for all that you did, FTK. That's pretty awesome. I'm sorry that your sleep schedule is going to suffer for probably the rest of your life,
That's fine.
but but thank you very much. I next time you do that, I'm gonna have to tune in. I don't really understand it, so maybe I'll tune in and try to get it a little bit more than I do right now.
Yeah, we'll see if I decide to go again before Thon. Probably. It was fun. It wasn't too bad.
Maybe someone else listening has interest in doing that because it sounds like an awesome way to raise money. Um, and I will have to learn how to play some video games
Yeah,
so that
you'll
I
have to
can
learn how to play some
do.
Fortnite, Morgan.
I don't even know how to play like really any games. I
We can
used to
play
watch my
Mario
brother.
Party.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm that interesting either, but that's a pretty cool thing that Thon's been trying out this year, and obviously it seems to be a great way to fundraise, and you can do it even when we can't be in person and all that. So it's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Well, without further ado, we do have a guest on this week. Our very own Kim Kramer. She graduated when we were
Young
freshmen.
babies.
Yeah, so she's been out of school for what, like a year and a half now? Almost
She
2 years,
graduated
I
in
guess.
fall of 2018, I think.
Yeah, so she's been out a while. So it'll be neat to have an alumni on. And let's get to it.
Awesome. And we're live. So, we're here with Kim Kramer. Kim, tell us all about yourself.
Hi guys, thanks for having me. I'm Kim. I graduated from Penn State almost 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years in December. I joined HEAL my freshman year, but I guess we'll probably get more into that later. So right now I am working at a children's hospital in Delaware, Nemours Hospital for Children, as a dietitian, and I cover the cardiac intensive care unit and the GI service. And it's pretty much my dream job, so I'm super excited to be working there. Other things about me, I love to cook and I love reading. I'm a huge Harry Potter nerd, so that's usually my go-to. I've reread the books 5 times.
What house are you in?
Hufflepuff.
Yeah, you and me both.
Really? You're a Hufflepuff?
Yes, of course. Could you not tell?
I had no idea. I'm really
Wow.
happy to hear that.
Good. Yeah, Hufflepuff's
So
where it's at.
how many times did you visit Harry Potter World when you were in Florida?
Yeah, so I was in Florida for 9 months doing an internship, and my brother was very kind. And as a graduation present and like moving to Florida present, he got me a Universal pass. So I probably went, I don't know, at least 10 or 15 times while I was there.
That's awesome.
Sometimes after work when I was bored or just like didn't have anything to do, I would just go and walk around by myself.
I respect it.
I love that. I mean,
It
you
was
might as well take advantage of it. Being in Florida for 9 months, like, might as well live it up for that time.
exactly.
Yeah, so that's awesome. Well, you touched on being in Heal and everything. Do you mind just telling us the positions that you held and kind of your experiences with them?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was the one of the Thon weekend chairs, and that was really interesting. It was my second Thon going into that position, so I had already experienced Thon once and kind of had an idea for what types of activities we would want to do, in the stands, and what activities we wanted to do with the dancers to keep them going throughout the weekend. But I was also surprised, just how much planning and coordination there was going into actually prepping for all the logistics of that weekend. So, waiting in line to get into the BJC and trying to get our spot in the stands, organizing, who was going to be there when, so that we always had people there to support the dancers. I don't think that I realized, going into that position, how big that part was. And so that was definitely a learning experience for me. And I had a great time doing it. And it was really awesome to get to know the parents of the dancers, because that was also a big part, coordinating with the families when they were going to be there. And making sure that we had really fun things planned for our Thon families, the Tuckies, and at that time, the Knowles, to keep them occupied throughout the weekend. And so I then was the Heal president my senior year. And so that, was a lot of delegation and planning and just making sure we were accomplishing our goals that we had set throughout the year. And I absolutely loved that. I got to really see all the creative aspects of every position, um, and felt like I was able to make a big impact, which was my goal with becoming involved in Thon and Heal. And so that was just absolutely my favorite part of being at Penn State. Whenever somebody asks me, what I loved about Penn State, my first answer is always Thon, and getting to have the opportunity to be the president of Heal.
Awesome.
Sorry, Bobby, what were you gonna say?
No, you're good.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you had the opportunity to dance what, your senior year as well, so the same year that you were president.
Yep.
And so who did you dance with? Just jog my memory.
So I danced with Skylar, who I don't know if you guys
I've met
you
Skylar.
know Skylar. So
Yeah.
I danced with Skylar, who was also a senior at that time and on exec. I danced with Matt Giuliano, who was also president of Heal at a later time, and Emily Foster, who was family relations. So we danced together. It was the four of us. It was really awesome. We, I think, kept each other going throughout the weekend, because everybody will struggle at one point or another while they're dancing, but I think we kind of all struggled at different times, which was good, because then we could pump each other up, um, and we just had a lot of fun dancing together. It was awesome. Yeah, I don't think I could have had a better experience dancing.
No, you guys definitely had an absolute squad for a lineup. For sure. Now I have to ask, how many PB and J's did you join on with Matt? Because I think he admits to about 46 throughout the weekend.
No way. No, I don't believe that. I don't think I had that many. I probably only had like 5.
You
I
guys let
had
him get the PBJs all alone? Wow.
Hey, listen, we are stand. Um, I do remember at one point a PB and J like absolutely reviving me. Although I usually went for like the peanut butter and Nutella, because
Okay.
that's my thing. No, my go-to food was the food that people were sneaking in for me.
Yeah.
Which maybe I should be admitting here,
No,
but
it's fine.
No, it's okay. We do it all the time.
I had a breakfast sandwich from Irving's that somebody brought for me. that was great. Uh, somebody brought in a slice of pizza for me.
How did they do that?
Yeah, okay. So,
How did they
it
do
was
that?
wrapped up it was wrapped up in aluminum foil and
Okay.
in the waistband of their pants.
Wow. Wow, if that went wrong, they could have ended in like definitely a need for an outfit change, like the grease of the pizza dripping all over. So where was the pizza from? Like, did you have your go-to pizza place?
No, my go-to pizza place is at home. But I think I'm trying to remember where it was from.
Canyon.
It might have been. I have no,
Yucky.
but you know what? In that moment, it was like the best pizza I ever had.
That's usually what happens when you have Canyon. It's always in the moment when any pizza would be the best you've ever had.
Yeah,
Yes, somehow Canyon stays in business. I don't know how.
because they're like dollar slices. You can't beat that.
True.
Yeah, that's true. Although I heard that they got rid of the big bucket of ranch that they once had.
Yeah,
Is
it's
that
COVID
because of
safety.
Corona? Yeah, probably. I mean, it probably doesn't make sense for people to be like dunking in it. Yeah.
That thing definitely got gross.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's kind of funny looking back at like things that we used to do that now you look at it during a pandemic and you're like, I would never do that now.
Yeah, why
Yep.
did we do those things?
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to dancing a little bit. What was kind of like your favorite thing about dancing that weekend?
Ooh.
And you
Honestly,
can pick more than one.
okay. One of my favorite memories was getting to FaceTime with the Tuckies. They unfortunately couldn't be there in person that year. So we got to FaceTime them. We got to send them lots of videos, and I was texting Becca and Kate throughout the weekend. But getting to FaceTime them, I think it was really early Sunday morning. I'm guessing was when we FaceTimed them,
Yeah.
and it really like, grounded me, and it reminded me why I was doing it, because that was definitely a time where we were all kind of like, feeling tired and sore. So FaceTiming them was great. I was also super, super into the line dance. Um, so anytime I heard the line dance start, like even if I was in the back, I was running out to do it. Although the funny thing is, last year when I was there, I had zero memory of the line dance. Like,
Really?
not at all. I remembered every other line dance from when I was, involved in heel and thon, and then the line dance from when I danced. I was standing there and I was like, I didn't do this.
Repressed memory, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
What was
I
that?
looked.
Blast off BJC? Are you
I
serious?
don't know what my line dance was. Like, I don't remember it. And I remember last year I looked at Matt Giuliano and I was like, did we do this? And he was like, I don't know.
That's so funny. I guess your brain just kind of blacks it out, or there were just times that you were there, but you're not able to even like remember it. That's crazy. I've heard of people saying that before, but very interesting because you did it 46 times. So like your brain can, yeah.
But I just like, yeah, it's not in my long-term memory at all. But I do remember doing it as much as I could and loving it when I was doing it. And my other favorite memory that I can think of off the top of my head was pep rally. My DRCM dropped down ice cream from the stands for me.
Wow.
The Thon Ripple ice cream, which they had just released that year, and it was so good. And I remember just like standing there eating it and like looking around, and I was like, this is it. Like, I am peaking right now.
That's awesome.
Life will never be better. That's awesome. Was that in the line dance that year? I mean, maybe I don't know if you remember, but was the Thon Ripple in the line dance? I
I'm
bet you.
sure it had to have been.
Yeah,
Your guess
probably.
is mine.
Probably like when they recap. I'm trying to think. Yours wasn't Ignite Electrify, was it? Was that
It
a
was
previous year?
Blast off BJC, I think.
What year was Ignite Electrify?
Yeah, mine was
2015.
not blast off because I danced in 2018.
Uh,
This is terrible. I should
You
know
danced in
this.
2018. Blast off BJC's 2016. That's my bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one I know. I
Yeah,
could
I would say that one. I feel like you guys knew that one.
yeah. No, I danced in 2018.
What was the Thon 2018 line dance? That's fine. They were zooming. They had somewhere to be. Let me look it up real quick.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna feel really embarrassed when you say it, because then I'm gonna be like, yeah, that was it. But it's just
Boom,
not.
stomp, bring the thunder, dancing for tomorrow's wonder. FTK, why we fight, every dream shining bright. Cubs today, future Lions, impact change with 4 diamonds. Move forward, go explore, make a difference, find a cure.
That was 2018.
Yeah, that was it. Let me see
Am
if
I a terrible
Thon
person?
Ripple's in there.
I don't think it is.
Defy limits, BJC, all together fearlessly. Cans retire, Dash is here. 100 days, far and near. Thank you, Darcy. Jeff arrives. Make a page on donor drive. One day shatters expectations. Families are motivations. Courage to explore the sea. Look within for honesty. Wisdom paves a new horizon. Strength in numbers with 4 diamonds. Look through our telescope in the stars. We find hope. Journey further to uncover tomorrow's wonders we discover. It's not in that section. It could be the Penn State one.
I
That
bet you
was
it
the
would have been in
Thon
that
one.
though.
Yeah, probably would have been in the Thon one.
That's actually crazy.
So that was the year that they got rid of canning. What was your experience with that?
So I had the opportunity to go canning 3 times my freshman year, I think 3 times my sophomore year,
Okay.
and then I guess twice my junior year. I'm trying to remember. Did they get rid of it in 2018 or was it
2018 was when they retired canning. So I think you got to go canning, but it was the last one.
Okay, because I remember they did 2 and then 1 and then they stopped. So yeah, so I got to go canning pretty much every year. It was definitely a, I mean, I won't sugarcoat it, right? Like it was a terrible, situation that happened. And I think that everybody was just responding the best way that they knew how. And so it kind of forced everybody to think creatively and figure out other ways to fundraise and still, get the message out. And so we really ramped up envelopes. We created some really interesting fundraisers. We made a cookbook, which was pretty cool. So we, told everybody like meeting after meeting after meeting, send us recipes, get your parents to send us recipes. And then I taught myself how to bind books. And
That's
so I spent my free time that year binding books, and we sent out about 100 cookbooks that were all HEAL recipes, which was really awesome. And that was a great fundraiser that we did. So it was just about, figuring out other ways to fundraise. We did lots of bake sales. I think that also kind of inspired the idea to start having retreats, because another big part of canning, besides the fundraising aspect, was getting to know everybody and bonding. And so by organizing retreats, we kept that alive, which was really important, just to, get to know everyone. So I think it just made everybody get a little more creative, which is never a bad thing.
It's kind of funny that. Go ahead.
Sorry. Talk about quite the year to become president too. Like being kind of dealt that deck of cards, I guess, is if you hand of cards, if you want to say that.
Dealt the deck.
Yeah, dealt the whole deck, not just a hand, the whole deck.
A lot.
Right?
There's a lot of cards there.
Long Tuesday, everyone. But yeah, it sounds like you guys obviously took on that challenge really well, and with the direction and everything that you took as a president. A lot of those things that you're talking about are things that we still do. So obviously, it impacted HEAL much longer than you were there. So thank you for that. And Bobby, I'm sorry I cut you off.
No, it's fun. I was just gonna say it's kind of cool that we gotten onto the subject because it's very similar to what's going on this year, where a lot of things are different, and so it's really just about innovation. What's up?
I said, what's different? I
Uh,
was kidding.
oh yeah, no. I wonder what's different this year. Why don't we all just go canning together and hang out at each other's houses and hold hands and sing "Kumbaya" and hug and kiss?
Great.
Anyways, yeah. So things are a little different. We gotta get a little creative. But you're right. I mean, at the end of the day, innovation's not a bad thing. So hopefully, cool things come out of this, like this podcast that stick around for a while. Who
This is
knows? Oh, you're awesome. Stop it, you.
So
Awesome.
you two have been close really since what Bobby's freshman year. So how did you two become close, and kind of what has that been like? Like, what did it influence you, Bobby, with Heel and all that
Oh,
stuff?
you can go first, Kim.
well, Bobby, you came on a canning trip with me, didn't you?
It was a canvassing trip. We weren't allowed to call it canning, but yes.
Right. Yes, it was canvassing at my house,
Yep.
and I was driving, so you were in my car, and I
Correct.
think Matt Giuliano was there.
Yep.
Um, and we just were listening to music the whole time, and and Hamilton.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Yes, Bobby and I bonded over Hamilton. That is,
Definitely.
That's awesome.
and I could go on about that for much longer than we have. Yeah, I mean, it really was just that whole idea of go to somebody's house for a weekend and you might not know all the people that you're there with. I think that was my first time meeting Bobby.
Yep.
And you leave, you go back to school, and you're like, I have all these people now that I am so much closer with, and you just kind of form this like bond with those people that I've never really experienced getting that anywhere else. And so, yeah, it was a canvassing trip. My parents hosted, they loved hosting canning and canvassing. My freshman year, they hosted the first canning trip, which was my first canning trip. So that was kind of crazy. But yeah, I guess after that, Bobby, we just realized we had some things in common, and yeah, blossomed into
Yeah.
a beautiful friendship.
The rest is history, right? Definitely. So I guess my side of things. Freshman year, come to Heel. I knew Matt Giuliano going into it. So when I went on the canvassing trip and saw he was in my car, I was like, oh, thank God. I'm gonna be with someone I know at least. So it won't be super weird. Kim rolls up, get in the car, and we get on the topic of like musicals or something. And I'm like, oh, I love musicals. And then ended up Caroline Newman was also in the car, and she likes musicals too. So Matt was kind of outnumbered. We ended up getting Hamilton on the aux, and then I think we went to Wicked. And all I know is that the three of us were singing, and Matt wishes he was asleep. Um, but yeah, we went to your house. Your parents were so nice. It was so much fun. It was a football game. It was a Friday football game for Penn State, and
They
I
were
can't remember
playing.
who we were playing.
I think it was Illinois,
I think it was.
because we watched it. I was at a different house at that
Yeah,
night, and we watched it at Megan Nelson's.
yeah. So we watched it. Kim has two cats, right?
Yep,
Pumpkin and Shadow.
Fred, but
Fred, are you serious? The black cat's not even isn't Shadow. I thought it was. Wow.
I'm gonna change it now. I like that.
Either way, Pumpkin and Fred.
Very
How did
colorful.
I have that so wrong? Wait. That wasn't even close. What? You changed the
Your mind
names.
is just on
You're
ball.
totally messing with me. Anyways, cats were super cute. Your parents were super nice. It was a ton of fun. I feel like an idiot now, but yeah, it was just tons of fun. We played a bunch of games. We were really close to another group. Um, so we like another house worth of people. So I think one night we went over there. It was like a 10-minute drive or something. We went to Sabrina's, I think.
Yeah, right. Because Sabrina lived right around the corner from me.
Yeah, and we played games and stuff. It was tons of fun. Got to meet a lot of people. Got to like actually know people, and that's the big thing that kind of sucks that we don't have it this year. You really just get to hang out with them. You're stuck in a house together, right? So you gotta do something. But you really get to know people, and it really grows the friendships. That I don't think there's no real other way to do that other than just sticking with people and learning about them. So it was a lot of fun. And then yeah, we started. You, me, and Matt would hang out and do fun stuff. So
Yep.
yeah, and then you always come and visit last year, and I'd always say, hey,
Yeah,
here we are.
yeah. I tried to go back as much as I could, and now I miss it. But COVID and all that.
It's all right. Next year, my couch will be open, and COVID
Awesome.
should be hopefully done by then. So
Hopefully.
Yeah,
hopefully,
COVID has to wrap it up.
yeah. Okay, let's go. Time's up.
Yeah. How has it been in a hospital setting? Do you have to wear like an N95 mask all day?
No, we
Like
just wear like the regular surgical masks. And so honestly, in my opinion, first of all, I'm lucky because I'm in a children's hospital. So for the most part, we're not seeing as many kids infected with COVID. So we don't have like super high COVID rates in our hospital. Um, and every single person that walks into the hospital, whether they are staff or family, they go through a screening process. So every morning when I walk in, there's a bunch of questions that are listed outside. If the answer is yes to any of those questions, you're not allowed to go in. You have to call employee health. And then once you walk in, if you know your answer is no to everything, they take your temperature every single day. And if your temperature is above their set threshold, which I think is like 99.5,
okay.
which isn't even technically a fever, but I'm happy for them to be like on the safe side.
Mhm.
If your temperature is above that threshold, then you can't go and you have to get tested. So it is a very safe environment in the hospital. We're wearing masks at all time. They don't let people like sit anywhere closer than 6 feet, apart. Um, so being in the hospital is actually the place where I feel like the safest when it comes to COVID, which is kind of funny. But yeah, and any time that there is a patient who tests positive when they come in, um, we we don't really even go in their room. So it's not really a I don't want to say it's not a big deal in the hospital because it very much is and has shaped the way that we do everything that we're doing now. But it's really safe, which is that's nice.
Glad to hear
Yeah,
that.
for sure. Yeah, to be able to go to work and feel comfortable is definitely very important and good. My sister's in a hospital right now. She's a physical therapy student, so she's finishing up her clinicals.
Uh,
And I'm in New Jersey, and I guess I don't know if the rules are different or just the hospital that she's in. She's in like an N95 all day with a surgical mask over it. So that's
okay.
presented. It makes her feel safe and obviously keeps all the patients safe and everything, but also can be tough to wear a mask for like 12-hour days every day. So I definitely commend all the healthcare workers and everything who are in the hospitals trying to keep us all safe. And it's hard, and as important as wearing a mask is, it is hard to wear them for extended period of time. So
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
it's actually like the biggest thing I find with wearing a mask for so long is not it doesn't like inhibit my breathing at all. That's fine, but it gets really itchy.
yeah,
You get acne from the mask.
I don't even want to talk about
It's
that.
bad. It's bad.
Yeah, yeah. It's like okay, I got acne from the mask, but at least now I get to wear a mask to
To
cover the
cover the
yeah,
acne, but just make
seriously.
the problem worse as is, right? Like, it's
I guess less makeup in the morning too. If you wear it, like if you wear it, you don't have to do it. Really, you can just do your eyes. No
you,
one's gonna see the rest of
you
it.
just skip like the mouth area and
Yeah.
yeah,
Just don't take it off. It might become very obvious.
yeah.
I thought about that before. I'm like, if I'm going out, do I even really have to worry about doing anything except for just my eyes? Because like I think I'm set, like I don't plan on taking it off. I guess that's one benefit of coronavirus. I don't know.
save money on makeup.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I wonder if people have like mask tan lines if they're like doing stuff outside and like
Probably.
I want to see pictures of that. I'm sure they're out there. They just have
Yeah,
like these
probably.
awful like boxes across their face.
At least they're being safe though. That's all you
Yeah,
can ask. So going back to Thun a little bit after we kind of veered off for a
a little
moment.
bit of a tangent.
Can you talk about some of your favorite heel memories? I know we talked about canvassing, I guess canning and all of that, and dancing, but any other memories that you have, maybe like Tucky trips or anything like that of things that you enjoyed?
Well, the Taki trips were always absolute highlights. Just getting to go and spend quality time with them, and Kate always would make like the best food. Um, that was always awesome. I remember we would just go and like play cards the whole time, or play hide and seek, or tag, or football. One of our favorite games was spoons. I think mostly because there was kind of an unspoken rule that Becca would win. Um, although now that she's older, we kind of like don't always let her get away with that. Um, but you know, it is what it is. And more recently, we would go and we'd watch The Office, and that was always fun because that's one of my favorite shows. So Becca is super into The Office and would always try to throw it on when we were there. And obviously getting to spend time with all of their pets because the Tuckies, one of the first things that comes to my mind when I think about them is all of the pets. I don't think I personally know anybody else that has as many cats as they do, and that's awesome because I'm a huge cat person.
It's 9 cats, I think. And
Yeah.
they have a black cat named Shadow, I believe. So I think that's where I got Shadow
Okay,
from.
we get it that you're trying to make up for the
All
fact
right,
that
so
name.
listen, huh?
I said, "Are you sure?"
We'll get back to you on that one. Tell Fred I'm sorry. But yeah, I think that's where I got Shadow from. Change his name to Shadow, anyways. That's cooler.
I will. No, I like it better.
That's pretty metal.
Yeah. So yeah, obviously the Tuckies, getting to spend time with them was the best. Another favorite of mine was the retreat that we had. I think that was my senior year. We organized like an org retreat. We all went to my house. I think it was like 30 of us, which was a lot of people to fit into my house. But we made it work, and we did bonding games and regular games, and it was just a lot of fun to kind of decompress and get to know each other in a setting that, yes, the focus was still about fun, but it was also kind of just like, hey guys, let's become close and get to know each other, because you never know everything about a person, right? And so just having that weekend to, we weren't fundraising, we were just focusing on learning about each other, was really awesome. And that is definitely one of my favorite memories. And then our pasta dinners. That's like a huge one for me. Like I said, I love cooking. And so every year, maybe multiple times, we would do a pasta dinner as a fundraiser. And that was always great because in addition to raising money for Thon, we were eating and hanging out, and spending time with the people in Heal was always my favorite because they were my best friends. So, and still are.
Thanks.
And so, yeah, pasta dinners were great.
Where would you host them?
We kind of switched it around. It really just depended on which, usually it was at a church. And it just depended on like who was available. And a lot of them asked for like a down payment kind of, or I guess like a, what's the word I'm looking for?
Like a
security deposit. Because yeah, it was
they
like
didn't trust us.
No, we were a bunch of college kids. They just wanted us to clean up after ourselves, which is absolutely fair. And so yeah, it was kind of just a matter of like who was available, who had the best rate at the time, so that we could donate as much of the proceeds as possible.
Cool.
Makes sense. I think, what did we have a pasta dinner last year, Bobby?
Yeah, we did. We actually put it in one of the churches. I can't remember the name of it, but it's the one that was not next to Taco Bell. It's not the one right next to it, but there's another church.
A couple times.
Yeah.
On Calder somewhere?
There could be.
I don't know.
I didn't know there was a church on Calder.
I don't know. I could be making that up.
Yeah, it's all a lie. Kim's lying to you. Everyone at home, there's no church at Calder. I don't know. Maybe there is. If there is, I never saw it, but definitely could have been. But yeah, we did get one in. We were talking about that actually in exec. What are we gonna do with pasta dinners? Because that's just kind of like a synonymous thing with Heal events. Eventually a pasta dinner is gonna work its way in there. We kind of finagled a little bit of a pasta dinner. We did like a dinner and dues event with a mac and cheese bar that people could walk by, grab mac and cheese, and then walk home because you're not allowed to hang out.
Oh, that's cool.
But that worked out really well. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to find another way to get our true spaghetti love on, and
Yeah, and
you
the
know,
garlic bread. You can't forget the garlic bread.
true.
Yeah, basically anything with carbs is just delicious, so that's what I'm going for.
That's how it
Yep.
works.
Yep.
Yeah. Um, I keep on forgetting what I was gonna say. Oh my goodness. Oh, so any good quarantine recipes that you made, Kim? Because I know you love to cook, and I'm always looking for new recipes. So please share.
Yeah. So actually, my go-to, and we're going back to pasta, is penne with vodka sauce.
Oh, do you make
I
your own vodka sauce?
Yes, I am like obsessed with vodka sauce, and I finally taught myself how to make it
Send
because
the
I
recipe.
okay, I will. I would usually get it at restaurants
Mhm.
and COVID. So I was like, I'm gonna learn how to make vodka sauce, and I did, and it's like pretty easy. And I think I've made it like 4 or 5 times now,
Oh, that sounds so
and I
good.
do it with chicken, or I do it with shrimp or veggies, and obviously pasta. And yeah, that is like probably my favorite. And then the cliche banana bread. Um,
Hmm.
I've made banana bread a couple times now, and I have found the absolute best recipe.
Send that too.
Um,
Okay. What
will do.
what do you put in it? Is it like the typical like flour, sugar, eggs, or is it
Yep.
Is
those
there
spin-off?
walnuts?
No, I don't put nuts.
Don't
I do
joke it with
put
nuts.
yeah. So there's a time and a place. I do put cinnamon, and sometimes if I'm in the mood, I will put chocolate chips.
Mm,
But I think the trick to this one that makes it so good. So yeah, it's the flour, sugar, eggs, bananas. I do
mhm.
one extra banana than the recipe calls for.
Okay.
And then the recipe that I found calls for sour cream, which I had never heard of in banana bread.
Interesting.
But a lot of times in coffee cake, they put sour cream.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I can understand that. And then I swapped out half of the white sugar for brown sugar to
Okay.
add a little like extra flavor. So really good. I will send the recipe because it's incredible.
Send your adapted version.
I will. Oh, I will.
Okay,
Yeah.
good,
Oh,
good,
yeah.
good, good.
I was into making banana bread during quarantine too, and I think it had maple sugar or sorry, maple syrup in it,
Ooh.
which was good. It was like not super sweet, but like a good amount of sweetness. And then I always add chocolate chips because I literally don't go a day without chocolate. Um, so I'm always in the mood. And then I'm trying. There was something else in it that made it like super moist. Maybe it was like applesauce. I don't know. It was something like funky. I'm trying to remember what it was. But I've heard of coffee in stuff like that too. That's supposed to apparently make it moist.
Huh.
My sister-in-law does that. She makes like a. My brother loves like peanut butter and chocolate, so she makes him like a peanut butter chocolate cake every year for his birthday. And she always says she puts coffee in it, and I think it is to like keep it from like being so dry.
Oh,
So I'm like wondering if that's like the same effect as the sour cream. I don't know.
maybe. I really like that maple syrup idea.
Yeah, it was really good. I follow this account called Spinach for Breakfast. I'm sorry for anyone who doesn't like cooking, but I enjoy it. Follow this account. It's called Spinach for like four as in the number, and then breakfast. And she posts like really good recipes. Some are like super healthy, and some are like just normal, whatever. But she makes like some good things that have like a little bit of a twist. And she has a cute son, so that's fun.
I'll have to follow that account. That
Yeah,
sounds it's right up my alley.
yeah.
My mom wouldn't let me into the kitchen during quarantine. I tried a couple times and she was not having it. I made cookies once and she was like, "Never again. You didn't clean anything." And I was like, "But they're good
If you don't
cookies."
clean up, then you're not allowed in the kitchen.
Yeah. I think I sent you pictures. These cookies that I made, like I thought they'd flatten out in the oven. They did not flatten out. They looked like the tops of a mushroom. It was like the perfect like dome. I sent pictures to you, Morgan. I'm sure you saw them.
I don't know if I remember seeing it. Probably if I saw it again.
It kind of looked like a landmine if I like threw them out in my yard. Like someone could step on it and it could detonate. But anyways, they were great. So
What kind of cookies were they?
chocolate chip cookies, Kim.
Yeah.
I'm not playing
Fair.
around.
Okay.
Fair.
Abby.
Okay, any more recipes? Like, what's like you come home from work, like, go to other than penne bacca?
Breakfast for dinner is a major go-to.
Ooh.
Like sometimes I just want a really good like egg sandwich, and I'll do like a. So I mean, it's cooking, but not really. Uh, but I'll do like scrambled eggs, American cheese, chicken
Mm.
sausage on a bagel. I did some gardening throughout quarantine, so like I was
Oh,
growing
that's fun.
tomatoes for a while. I have some arugula that is like very overgrown right now, so I can't eat it because it would probably like hurt.
You'd be
Uh,
fine.
Arugula gets like really bitter and spicy when it's overgrown, so like I
Yeah.
can't. Um,
Ship it up. We'll eat it.
okay. What else was I making? Oh, sweet potato gnocchi.
Ooh, is that the Trader Joe's one, or do you make it yourself?
I make it myself.
Oh,
You
wow.
think she
Okay.
buys it at Trader Joe's? Come on.
I mean, I don't know. They come in frozen bags. Sometimes it's easy.
Yeah, no,
Disrespectful.
here, but Chrissy Teigen's recipe is incredible.
Wow. Okay, so what do you put with it? Do you just like saute it, or?
Yeah, so I saute it in pesto, and then I usually do like a spicy Italian sausage with it.
Okay, that sounds delicious.
It's really
That's a great idea. I
and
do a lot
Parmesan
of
cheese on top.
with what on top?
Parmesan cheese.
Okay. Okay. I see. That sounds delicious. I made a lot of like tacos and stuff recently, but like the real tacos, not like the El Paso, like not the box taco, like the real.
¿Por qué no los dos?
Really been enjoying those. That's been like kind of my go-to, I guess. I was saying to Bobby that we have to make them again. But
I'm ready.
we're also on a college budget, and my parents are not paying for the steak anymore, which means that we'll probably be going with chicken, and that's that.
Either
Yep.
way. Yeah, it'll be all right.
Yeah.
All right, so let's hop back onto Heal now that we're done with our cooking show tangent,
sorry, we
sponsored by
cheated.
Rachel Ray. Anyways, Kim, we haven't talked about how you ended up in Heal. So how did you somehow get roped into this ragtag bunch of hooligans that love to eat food as much as we do?
Yeah, that's a great story. So, my freshman year, I knew I wanted to get involved in Thon. I had heard about it just, I guess, kind of in passing throughout high school. And I went to the involvement fair, which I guess was the first or second week of freshman year. And I walked around with the specific intent of finding a Thon org. Did not find Heal, but I went home back to my dorm and I was talking to my roommate, and she was like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna go to this Thon meeting. I like found this org at the involvement fair," and I was like, "Oh, cool! Like I'll go with you," because I had talked to a couple people, but I didn't really know anyone, so I didn't really care what org I joined. Um, and so I went with her to the first Heal meeting that year. And there were two people on exec that year who had gone to my high school. I didn't know them because they had graduated when I went to high school because my high school was only 3 years. But shout out to Vince and Julia if you guys happen to be listening. But they said that they were from Bucks County. I was like, I'm from Bucks County. And so I went up to them at the end of the meeting and I was like, where'd you guys go to high school? And they said Central Bucks East. And so that kind of like right off the bat, I was like, oh, okay. Even though I don't know anybody in the org, I at least have people that I have something in common with. And that was it. I went to the first meeting that year and then I kept going back and I absolutely fell in love with it.
Fell in
So
love with it enough to take them to canvas to can at your house. So that's pretty cool. To do that your freshman year too. A neat story. I know it's kind of I have a similar story with the whole involvement fair. Sorry if you can hear my dog in the back; she's barking. Okay, good. Same kind of idea, and I think that's like the neat, or I guess you didn't necessarily meet them at the involvement fair, but it is like a neat thing because you really do like when you go to the first meeting and you meet them that way, it's like a cool progression. And to kind of like hear where everyone's from and stuff, because after that you really don't talk about it.
yeah.
So very neat.
I
It was
agree.
awesome. I remember I told my parents sometime like towards the end of my freshman year, I was like, I'm gonna be the president of Heal one day.
That's awesome.
Wow. And you
And
did
what they
it.
say.
It was they were like, okay. It was very full circle.
Yeah, evidently.
Very cool. Okay, so we're coming up on losing some time here. Okay, yeah, I'm just checking. So yeah, we only have a few minutes left. So we have our typical question that we ask everyone, and that question is, what do you think will be in the Lion Dance this year? Some things that they'll mention versus all that kind of stuff.
Well, I think the obvious is COVID.
Mm-hmm.
No way.
Very fair.
Not even that big of a deal this year, right?
Quarantine.
Banana bread.
Definitely like Penn State football going back and forth as to whether they were gonna play. Maybe like I don't know, this makes me really sad, but like Saquon tearing his
ACL.
ACL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said ALC. That's my brain after working.
What's an ALC? Is that
I
a
don't
thing?
know. I don't think it's a thing.
That sounds like a sushi roll.
TLC. That's
Don't
a.
get talking about sushi.
I love sushi. All right, that's a story for another time.
No, I love sushi.
All right,
You
fine.
know
We'll
it.
come up. We'll get some tadashi.
Don't taunt me. But yeah, so like Saquon. What else? It's a great question. Oh, I mean, I don't know if I think they've decided that they're doing Thon like virtually somehow.
Yeah,
Um, so that will be part of the line dance.
for sure.
Um, those are my guesses for now.
Um, yeah, we talk about this, I guess, just about every week. And I do have a sad addition, which would be the sad passing of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. But I hope that they honor her in the line dance.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, I know every year they mention every year there's an election, they mention it, presidential election. So I'm sure to some extent it will be in there. They'll probably be grouped together in some way, but I hope that that's included because it is important to remember all those things as well.
Yeah.
A lot of
Absolutely.
awesome people dying this year. Well, Representative John Lewis died. His name's John Lewis, right? Yeah. Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
Now Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And I mean, Kobe was at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, that actually they snuck him into last year's line
Beginning of
dance.
next year. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Thon's always like kind of funny because you think like in terms of years, but it's different because it's like a Thon year, so
Yeah,
it's really
February to
end of
February.
February to February again. So it's not like a true representation of the entire year, but they get as much as they can.
Yep.
I'm trying to think if there's any new additions this week of things going on in the world. Oh, you know what we don't have on there? I bet you like murder hornets will be on there because they were like a thing for like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh, and
true. That's usually
the fires out west.
yeah, that's true. We actually haven't talked about that. I mean, the entire West Coast is the sky's orange. Have you seen those pictures?
Yeah. The sad thing
Incredible.
is that wildfires have been in the past couple line dances,
Yeah.
which should not be like that.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Gender reveals. Isn't that what it was?
Yeah. Well, one of the big ones
Yeah.
was the gender reveal.
Wow.
Do you guys have any happy questions for me?
Yeah, right? Oh my gosh.
Like,
I ask everyone, who do you want to see on the podcast next? Because I run out of ideas. So
ooh, that's a great question.
we always crowdsource it.
Ooh. Well, I mean, I know you had the Tuckies on a couple episodes ago.
Yep.
Are the Hesses interested?
So we're working on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scheduling.
Yeah.
Because that would be my first suggestion. Any past president of Heal. So Charlie was before me, Jill was before him, Danielle. Those were the presidents during my time. So any of them. I mean, really any like past member. I think would be a really awesome perspective. There are tons of past members of Heal, so you guys will not run out of people for your podcast, which is great.
Good. We better
Um,
not.
yeah,
We don't want to
I
have to
mean,
have someone like you back on. I'm kidding. It's a joke.
hey,
It's a joke.
no, this was so much fun.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for coming on. I know that life can be busy once you're an adult and no longer a college student like we are.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
But thank you for taking the time to
Oh,
come
of
on.
course.
We really appreciate it.
Is that a dog in the background I see?
Yes, that is Roxy, my roommate's dog. She's a
Adorable.
Rottweiler.
Absolutely adorable.
She is some sort of black lab mix, and she's about 12 or 13 years old. My roommate adopted her back in November.
Awesome.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah, she's awesome.
All right. Well, I think that's all we got for you.
All
So,
right. Guys, this was so much fun.
thanks for coming on. Thank you to all of our listeners for listening, hanging out with us, and stay safe and keep on dancing.